Okay, we're live.
Thank you,
We have a
Joanne.
copy of the minutes that we've distributed. So we'll take a few
Thank
minutes.
you. Thank you. So just take a few minutes, take your time, open up your box of sandwich. Michael Zaslow not eating today?
No, I'm all right. Thank you. I can't read.
Gonna be a very boring recording if we don't start singing or doing something.
Oh, okay, very good. I just wanted to give people a chance to swallow. So no more agita. No more agita. No, I think they did a pretty good job presenting. And I guess there's many disaster remediation companies out there. You know, I wouldn't know of anybody personally, but I know that Assured Partners has worked with this Esther Santa Maria when she was with a different company and had a very high opinion of her skills, what she does. She was a property manager, I think she said, so she does have a good background. And but I guess I like this guy Andrew. He gave me confidence that, you know, it's a family operation. He cares about his name. His relatives started the business. So all we can do is try. And hopefully this works out for us. And hopefully we don't need anybody during the season.
Find out.
Yeah, we'll soon find out. Any hurricane activity?
No, nothing this week. Nothing in the pipe this week, Suzanne.
Thank you. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. So again, Donald and Fausto, I can't believe the difficulty with this contract. You guys did a really, really good job. I can't say it enough. I had no idea of the complexity and the consequences of signing a contract like this to UCO. So well done. And so just two things, Donald, you know, I wanted to mention about the crash reports, and then we'll go into the meeting in a second. I have had a lot of difficulty getting these crash reports. Briefly, for everybody to know, when there's an accident that destroys Century Village property, what I try to do is look at the carrier responsible for the property damage and start the ball rolling to try to get some property damage money to fix the fence, to fix the railing, whatever was damaged. So apparently, Palm Beach Sheriff's Office is not willing to give me the crash reports before 60 days. So we're going to have to figure out something else. I did contact Phil. He has no in that. Maybe when I'm in Century Village, I'll go in person to the sheriff's office and figure it out what I have to do.
And Suzanne?
Yeah.
I also filled out a new crash report, and this one's going to FDLE, so that might be what we need to do for the record.
Oh, see that is, what do you have on this report that we didn't do before?
This is an identical crash report, but this one is going to Florida Department, Florida Force. The state troop.
Oh,
So
okay.
that might be where we went, because we can get it from that organization. So I'm working on it. Let's put it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So what I did is I registered for Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, but I could register for this, you know, the troopers, and that way we can get everything online. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah, it's sitting on my desk. I'll get to it today.
Okay, very good. And among a million other things. And also, Donald, just one last thing, in the weekly report where we have all of the associations listed, the ones that Windsor C is listed twice, and I'm going to send you an email, but Windsor E is not listed. So don't write that down. I'll send you an email on that.
I already made contact. Take care.
Thank you.
I fixed my own boo-boos, and there were a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. So one of the things on the agenda for today was just the changing insurance and legislative environment and plans for our renewal. Everybody knows this is not a simple time like it used to be. Insurance companies do what they want. They assess the risk. People that have older roofs may have problems getting renewals or at a much higher premium. So that's what all of this situation is with these total of 17 associations that need probably roof replacement. So this is an expense that people maybe didn't count on. In the 60s and 70s, we didn't have to do any of this. We have to do it now. So, and the legislature is changing now too. I know that insurance companies will be looking at reserves of a association in the future. So if a association is not properly funded, it could be a problem. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there, but we have to keep our eyes and ears open. In addition, I may have mentioned this before. One of my friends from New York lives in Boca. Her building has 5 insurance companies sharing the risk. So, you know, many things are going to happen. We just have to be prepared and go with it. Whatever the insurance company wants, we're going to have to do. But I have confidence in Phil and Assured Partners. He's aware of what needs to be done, and the environment is very tough, but we can handle it. And then the next thing on the agenda was the master service agreement. Again, I'm really happy this is in place. And it was, as I said, it was more complex than I originally thought. Last item on the list is our underwriting requests for roof replacement contracts. So Donald got Phil to put a short article in his weekly newsletter about the associations involved, but very simple. They deal directly with Assured Partners. It's nothing to do with UCO. We don't make the rules. We assist them contacting Assured Partners maybe, but they're on their own. The association is responsible for their own expenses and to keep the building in tip-top shape. But nobody here is in that list of 17 people, I'm sure. 17 associations.
Was it that many?
17.
17 people. 4 have responded so far, I think, by email to Christy mentioned that to us. 14 remain, or 3 responded. 14 remain. Look, a lot of people may be up north. Maybe people don't read their emails. It could be a variety of things. But speaking with Phil and Christy, they have a set schedule of follow-ups and a track record of, accountability, so that if anybody is seriously thinking about suing UCO for not following up, or you didn't tell us, how could you do this to us? You promised us a renewal. No, it's not like that anymore. You've gotten many notices. One of the points that Phil will do, he will send a certified letter to the property manager, Seacrest, Pruitt, and so forth. So they are also involved. Everybody will be notified. This can't be a surprise to anybody. They have to just make sure their building is intact. Christie's not here. I'm not sure about what insurance companies are doing. I'll have to ask Phil. Insurance companies may ask in the future for a copy of the reserve study prior to offering a renewal. Why? That's obvious. Is the building properly funded? So I think people are aware of their deductibles now. The hurricane deductible, that is. So hopefully people learn little by little, and that's what I'll try to do. Maybe I'll have to get together with Phil and Donald about what other articles to put in the paper. And Joanne, thank you for, well, I'm not sure who mentioned that. I think Mike Bunk mentioned about having additional information from Custom on the blog and on the website. That was good. That was good.
Mhm.
And that about wraps it up for me.
Suzanne, Suzanne.
Yeah.
Okay, we passed out the minutes. We should ask if there are any corrections to the minutes or
Okay. Thank you. Anybody have any corrections to the minutes?
Somebody want to accept the minutes as Dominic?
I'll accept the minutes.
Thank you. Second,
I'll second it.
thank you.
The only point to make additionally is that Christie said that the Assured Partners is going to make several attempts to notify the individual associations. And they're going to wait till they get down to 4 or 5 or 6 maybe that don't respond, and they will get certified letters to the management companies. I don't know what else we can really do to alert people. The LCAM report. I don't know if it can be posted on the TV channel for certain associations to contact UCO. I don't know if that's a good idea or not.
No.
No,
I would
Okay.
put that on TV.
So
Okay.
that was
Now,
my
you have to
conversation
find-
with Phil and with you was that it has to come from them.
From Assured
It
Partners,
has to
correct.
come from Assured Partners and the insurance companies to what the consequences would be.
Yes, well, that's what Donald's LCAM report meant.
My question is, legally, can an insurance company say, we wanna know your credit score before we insure you? Do you have enough money?
Who's?
Association. The association, yeah. In other words, do you have enough money to run your building? Does an insurance company have the right to do that?
Well, Fausto, they do it on personal lines.
Personal is a
true.
different scenario. We're talking-
Yes,
We're talking
it is,
about.
you're right. But they don't do it on
Personally, they
business
can answer whatever
policies.
they want, but as far as insuring a building, I don't know if that's in their governing documents, that's a prerequisite. I think they would have a hard time legally saying to somebody, we're not going to insure you because you need to have $1.5 million and you only have $900,000, so we're not gonna give you insurance. I honestly don't know if they can do that.
You might be right. Insurance companies can try everything.
Yeah, I know
And
that.
then if they get into trouble with the state, then they back off. But they can try to do anything.
But that would be a question to find out legally, can an insure, because that's what's gonna end up happening. Once somebody from an association is gonna say, well, I'm gonna contact the Florida Insurance Department and say, my insurance carrier and my insurance company is telling me that I don't have enough money in my reserves and they don't wanna insure me. I think we should be ahead of that, not behind it. We should be ready to answer that question.
Is that something that the, Becker lawyers could answer? Where they have all these meetings and so forth?
think
But I don't want to call any lawyers because they
No,
charge a lot per hour.
We specialize in insurance.
No, this is where they have, there's gotta be a Florida insurance overseeing department. And that would be a question for them.
Okay. I could try to find
I
out.
mean, I know in New York they have one.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. Florida has one too. I think it's Tallahassee.
So that would be a question for us to be ready to handle it. Let's say that they say, I mean, I don't know what the criteria would be. I mean, for somebody that has no reserves, if somebody has a loan and they're not keeping up with the loan. But right now, even with all this new legislation. It's very, very difficult for somebody to come back and say you don't have enough reserves.
Bank, a lender can require a certain.
I know that, but that's not an insurance company. I don't know,
How's it different?
it's different. The
Okay,
bank is,
I'll
you're going to the bank and you're asking the bank to loan you money for something. The insurance company say, give me your money, otherwise I won't pay you. I just think we should be ready to handle that question. Can the
Okay,
insurance
I'll
company
do my
actually-
best to find out.
And if they can, what would be the criteria?
Maybe Phil can answer that question.
This has gotta come from above Phil. Phil is gonna have skin in the game. It has to have somebody that has no skill in the game and that it encompasses the whole state of Florida.
Maybe we would.
I don't think it's a lawyer. I think it's a question for insurance.
All right, Suzanne, what about a question to the Florida Insurance Commission?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna call. If I have to put it in writing, I'll put it in writing, but I'll consult with Fausto and Donald first. And then I'll report back to them what I find out.
I mean, it's only to cover ourselves for the simple reason that there's gonna be somebody on that board that's gonna come back and say, the insurance company has no authority to do this.
I got a good idea.
Right. Right, so we'll be prepared.
You know how I think.
Why, you know
Okay.
people?
No, there's always gonna be somebody on the board that thinks that they're smarter than everybody else. And I'd rather ask the question ahead of time and be ready with the answer than not to have an answer.
That's the smart way to do it, because you know people.
Yes,
Can the insurance company just simply drop you for whatever reason? I mean, do they have to
Yeah.
give you a reason?
no,
Well, there's your answer.
that's different.
I mean,
The dropping is one thing, saying if you don't put a new roof on your building, we're not going to insure you.
In a contract of it.
Right. I mean, Allstate did it, my brother-in-law in Staten Island had Allstate insurance for 45 years. And they said, we're not insuring Staten Island anymore, they got up and they
well,
left.
that's different.
Yes, Conley,
I don't know if I could say this.
be careful with what you say.
Are we among, be careful.
Because
Yeah.
we recorded.
We should always be.
Never mind then.
You
Never
can
mind.
say after we shut the recording. off.
Yeah.
Nothing like saying we're gonna have a secret meeting.
You're right.
Michael,
Nice.
Michael?
Just a quick question, bearing in mind the presentation, that we just had. In the event that something did happen that required, the remediation company to come in, their building would just be responsible for its deductible and then that would come out of insurance, or how would that work?
You want me to answer that?
Yeah,
So if there's damage to the building due to a named storm, a named hurricane, then the hurricane deductible, which is I think 5% for Gulf's Edge, right? 5% would have to be satisfied first. And were you able to find out from Mike in our office how that works?
Yes, I
Yeah.
got confirmation, thank you.
Good. So the deductible would have to be satisfied first. And it's a percentage of the entire premium for all of the Gulf's Edge properties. And then once that's satisfied, then you know, the insurance company would pick up over and above that. So, you know, I guess custom would give you the total amount of the damage. Then you would know what the damage is, and then you figure it out based on the deductible, the hurricane deductible.
Thank you.
My building has a reserve line for the hurricane deductible. We actually prepare for it. We have it as a separate, we can't use that money for anything. Oh, we can.
Is that Donald? You have a separate deductible, Donald?
No, we created a reserve line, a voluntary reserve line, just for the hurricane deductible. We haven't reached it yet, but we're solving it away because this way the money can't be used for anything else but that.
Oh, that's smart.
Now, it can be, but we'd have to go to a membership to get permission to do it.
That's good. How long are you doing that? A couple of years?
Yeah, we've been soaking away a little bit at a time for the last 2 years.
We don't see any hurricane deductibles for anybody this year. Let them go.
You can make the reserve line for whatever you want. You don't have to just have the lines that you're required to. You can create your own, that's it.
Yeah.
And
Suzanne, I had a question.
Yeah.
So let's say that we don't get wind damage, but we get flood damage. I believe personally, my hurricane insurance doesn't cover flood. I have a separate flood insurance for that. Do we have the same thing if we would, the community would get hit with a lot of water but no wind?
Okay, that's a
Would
very,
custom come in then, or how would that work?
so in answer to the first part, see, the insurance company looks at the proximate cause of the loss. So they'll say in one instance, oh, the wind ripped off the roof and drove the rain in. Okay, that flood or that water damage would be covered, but we're not really near any body of water. Okay, there are lakes on the village property. So if there's rising water and that goes into a unit on the first floor and causes damage, there's no coverage for that. That really is a flood. And of course, we have to give money to the federal government and FEMA so that the flood insurance would cover any flooding. But rain caused by, like, let's see, wind breaks a window and drove the rain in, the damage from that would be a covered claim. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I see
you
these
have-
stories where all of a sudden a place of the hour must get 20 or 24 inches of rain in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And
And then the rain seeped through the bottom of the door?
yeah,
No, no coverage.
See
Thank
why, you see why I'm so adamant about the North Canal now? Because,
agree.
you know, we are not covered, we never will be covered. So if we don't keep that from doing that, shame on us. You know, we can't buy insurance, or I guess you could pay a ridiculous amount of money, but we could get it covered. We're not.
May I answer your question, Kelly?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, insurance companies have an answer for everything.
You know?
You just have to be ahead of the game.
Well, part of Century Village is in a flood zone and the other part is not.
Mhm.
Figure
Oh, I
that-
didn't know that.
Yes,
Oh, are you in the flood zone, Kelly?
I have no idea. I didn't think any of us was, but
Now, something
I
changed.
learned something.
there's a change in there. Certain parts of the village are considered flood zones and others are not.
No, I didn't know that.
When did
Oh
that
my
change?
God. How do we know which ones they
Oh,
are?
we
Are they
did.
north?
We had. I remember Dominic, you made a presentation about that some time ago.
Oh,
What parts do you remember?
I've got a brain that's, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Hey, Suzanne, that might be something that you guys can research. You should know that.
the flood insurance. Who's in the flood zone?
It's not.
But then you can get insurance.
Sorry, say that again, Joanne?
Because when you're in the flood zone, you can actually get insurance.
That's pretty
Yes.
cheap.
And it's not as expensive when when you want it and you're not in the zone is when it's really expensive.
Correct. That's correct. You can get flood insurance anytime. They're glad to take the money.
Suzanne, were you in the insurance business in 2009 on Long Island?
Yes, I lost $2,500,000 worth of business when Allstate dumped my entire property, well, not entire, but a big portion of my property book of business. Yeah, I was around.
All South Shore?
No, North Shore too, like Bayville and, it was around there. Yeah, yeah, it's really terrible. Terrible. And being on the South Shore, you had problems?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Parents' house was like that.
Yeah, Long Island is really flat, and any tidal wave or any rising water would cause problems. Freeport got devastated, but you just have to pay attention. If you're near the water, you have to take the consequences.
Oceanside, that took its namesake.
Oceanside was ocean. Island Park ceased to be an island. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
it became Atlantis.
But the weather keeps changing, the rules keep changing. We're keeping up. We have a good team here in UCO, and a lot of people have good experience about things in Florida. So I'm learning myself. Anybody else have any questions for me?
Did you buy the houseboat yet?
Oh, you want to go? That was no, not yet. Nobody wants another sandwich. There's a lot of sandwiches there. Take them home.
Suzanne, do you want to make a comment about the August 20th meeting and
Oh, yeah. So August 20th, we put our minds together and wanted to really fulfill our obligation to have other brokers give us a presentation. So when I came aboard and when I was talking to Tony, she mentioned this one broker, Keith Carroll, and his father, Rick Carroll, started this agency. I think it's Juno Beach or someplace a little bit more north. And he was a very successful agent. His son, Keith, took over the business and he's now part of Accentria. So he will be coming in next month. I will be there at the meeting, and he will give us a presentation. I said half hour He's not gonna bring any senior executives. They couldn't make it on that date when we have our meeting, but he will give us a presentation on how he would handle our business here in Century Village. So I would definitely need your input, and then we can vote on it.
Suzanne.
So that's at the
except
next
that
meeting,
everyone
August.
knows, has encompassed a previous, one of our previous agents, right? Century took over,
Essentia, yeah?
they did not take over, what is before Sure Parts?
Levy. Brenda Levy.
Yeah, Brandon Moody, he's part of Ascension now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So everybody else.
Okay, I understand the question here.
Yeah,
Well, the other,
Brenda Levy's company, which name is escaping me at the moment, was taken on, what became part of the Century.
yes, it bought them out and Brandon is now part of their team.
Correct.
but I think that what you're gonna know is that Keith Carroll had an experience with, I think, Southampton Bay, is that correct? For a while in
Yes.
Century Village, so he's
Yes,
somewhat aware of Century Village. And
Yeah.
we think that it's important to talk with the actual producer for an agency, not just let the agency assign anyone they want to.
correct. And one thing I remember, Mike, is that Tony said she liked, when she reviewed Southampton B's documents, she liked the way he had it set up. I don't know what that meant exactly. I never saw those declarations pages, but she was, I guess, impressed with the way he handled everything. So we'll give him a try and we see what happens. And we'll take a vote. And what I learned is that a lot of these brokers, they'll come in, they just want us to complete a change of broker to them in sometime in the last quarter of the year so that they can analyze everything. So this is not, okay, let's wait till December and then we'll give you a shot. No, it's not like that. They want us to do a change of broker. They want to see what kind of coverage we have, how many buildings are involved, and they'll start working on it in the last quarter. So just be aware of that, that's the way they operate. So I don't know if you want to do that in this
We're not
market, but
Suzanne, if they're not the agent of record, they can't get a quote from the insurance companies.
that's true. You're right about that, Fausto. Absolutely.
So that's why they
Absolutely.
want that form, because otherwise they're using
They
their
can't get a quote,
law
right?
to get a price.
That's right. But how do we know what they're gonna offer?
They don't, you don't. Years ago, it was totally different. Years ago, they
Yeah.
came here, they actually gave you the programs, how much it was gonna cost you, you knew what the bottom line was. And then
Yeah.
that went away with, you know, and
Yeah.
it's gotten progressively worse instead of gotten progressively better.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Okay, it's almost 1 o'clock. Thank you all very, very much for
So motion to adjourn?
attending the meeting. So we will make a motion for the adjournment.
Yeah, maybe,
Fausto?
yeah,
Who wants
second,
the second?
I second it.
Thank you very much, team. Good to see you all. Hope to see you soon in
Stop the
person.
recording?
Yeah, we're gonna stop it.
Thank you.